everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening. National. Just wanted to say hi. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm so excited to talk to you guys about my journey, my respiratory journey, and the passion I have for this profession and for what I do. So, once again, I am Linda Nozart, and I am a registered respiratory therapist and a certified asthma educator who has a master's in public health with a specialty in health education and health promotion. Okay, so these are our objectives for today. All right, so as a presenter, I always try to be as transparent as possible to where my perspectives come from. And I always let people know that it comes from both inside of my career as a respiratory therapist and outside of the career, right? Just through my daily experiences. So I always tell people that I was diagnosed with asthma at the age of 8, and I am the only one with asthma in my family. So that helped shape the perspectives that I have. And I also like to share the story of my first job. I started working at the young age of 14. My parents approved for me to have working papers, and my first job was at a local carnival that came every year, and I was the game booth promoter for a game booth called Prize Every Time. And I'm going to circle back to how that relates to this presentation. But with my 16 years now as a respiratory therapist and with my 11 years as a public health educator, I really just learned how to own my career. And what I hope is that I inspire you guys to also own your career, right? So that's what this is about, just owning the career and making it your own. All right. So when I first started respiratory back in 2008, I started in a level 1 trauma center in Queens, New York City. So I was the night shift therapist. I was the ER therapist. So my assignments usually was the ER, peds, NICU, and I had the floors, right? So if you had the ER, it was something called the package deal. So it was a few things together. So one night in 2010, I was covering peds ER. So this night, I received a 3-year-old boy. I'm sorry, 5-year-old boy. He was 5, and he went into cardiac arrest 3 times because of severe, status asthmaticus. So he had really bad asthma attack. He came in, he was already intubated, and when they were coming in, his mom was screaming, "Give him his prednisone! Give him his prednisone!" So that was not the first trip to the hospital. So they knew the ER routine, and a family member followed behind her. And as I was putting him on the vent, I caught eye contact with the family member, and I felt her heart break in half. I felt really bad, So the story was that the family member was watching him. She was cooking in the kitchen, and he was playing in the living room, and she did not realize he was having a full blown asthma attack. And when she realized what was happening, the of course the inhaler didn't work. He was completely blue. So yeah, so so he came to me. I placed him on the vent, and he was in really bad shape, like real bad. And his brother, they came in with the younger brother, and I just the family did not know. They didn't realize how bad the situation was, and it was not like the other ER visits. And I had a strong feeling that he was not going to make it during the shift, and he didn't. He didn't make it, and we worked very hard on him to get him back. And unfortunately, he passed away. And this was the first shift I cried after work. And my husband, he was like, Linda, why are you crying? You've seen children die before. Like, it wasn't like the first child I seen pass away. And I said, well, strangely, I'm not crying for the boy. I said I'm crying for the family member, because for the rest of her life, she has to live with the fact that he died in her care. And I said, you know what? I never want that to happen to another person. I just got fed up with seeing the same type of people returning for the same condition over and over again. And like I said, I had asthma myself, and I've never seen it get that bad. And this was an African American family, so it cut me deep. So I said, listen, I want to change the narrative. So that's really that night changed the whole entire way how I saw my career. I said I don't want to help sick people at that stage anymore. I want to be on the other end. I want to help them before they get that sick. So I wanted to be on the preventative end. And then I went back to school. I got my master's in public health. I wanted to understand why some neighborhoods are sicker than others and what to do about that. Right? So that is everything. And so this graphic really is, I'm showing you in a nutshell. If I just wrapped up this presentation right now, this is exactly how I did everything. I took my foundation as a respiratory therapist. I invested in myself and my skills. I kept learning. I got my certified as an asthma educator. And then from there, I volunteered my time, right? The very little time that I had. I had 2 night shift jobs, and I still volunteered as an asthma educator. And from there built my skills, learned how to do it, and now I am a communicator. I have my own business as a respiratory therapist and an asthma educator. I still do bedside patient care when I feel like it, because I want the connection with patients. And yeah, this is what led to everything that one night. So that's the tone that I want to have with you guys for this presentation, is to own your career. All right. So yeah, asthma is a problem in this country. This is why I do what I do. It affects all of us in some shape or form, whether we have it or not. And unfortunately, some neighborhoods and some communities carry a bulk of the burden more than others. All right, so this is a slide that I have in every single presentation that I do in regards to asthma. And it is one of my most controversial slides that I have, because I am someone that is not afraid to use the word dying and asthma in the same sentence. And I can debate with other people who, may or may not feel comfortable with that. But the reason why I do that is because in some high risk areas, asthma is just asthma, not a big deal, right? Because everybody have it. So we have to understand some why we have disparities in a disease like asthma, right? And so that's why I do what I do. All right, so I wanted to be a catalyst of change. I wanted to change the narrative in doing this through my career. All right, so all I do is I take the same superpower, right? We are cardiopulmonary specialists. This is a subject matter expert. Okay, so that superpower from the hospital, I take the same superpower, I control it, and I bring it into the community as well, the communities that I serve, right? It's because eventually the patient will go home. We want you to go back home. And when you do go back home into your communities, right? Especially with children, it takes a village to raise a child. We want everyone to get the memo, okay? About how to manage asthma. So remember what happened to that child. It was the family member who did not get the memo, and it's not her fault, right? So this is why I do what I do. All right. So, what I tell people is I treat myself like a good phone app, right? I keep updating my software. So, what that means is I invest in this type of knowledge when it comes to asthma education, patient engagement, how to get them to a place of asthma control. I consistently invest and learn in this avenue because think of any good app on your phone. This app on your phone, it always updates itself. Why? Because it wants the user to have the optimal experience so that you can keep using it, keep staying on the platform, keep engaging with it, and so that you can recommend it to other people. So this is why apps keep doing that. And when it comes to career management, you have to know how to enjoy being a lifelong learner. And this will really help you to shine. So when it comes to being a subject matter expert, I have learned to how not to be afraid to use the word expert, because expert don't mean you know everything. It means you are heavily invested in a specific area. So that's it. So nursing, they know a little about a lot. Respiratory, we know a lot about specifics about the lungs, right? Cardiopulmonary specialist. So this is how I carry myself in the asthma education space. Keep updating your software. If you learn anything from me, that would be the one to pay attention to. Boom. Once I learn anything new, right? So, like I said, I went back to school. Before I went to back to school, I went to get certified as an asthma educator. I immediately, once I got certified, I said, I want to use this thing. What can I do with this? I went to my mentor. We will talk about mentorship, who was my past professor, Dr. Ellen Becker. I went back to her. I said, hey, listen, I got my AEC. I'm excited. And, I just want to use it. Let me know if there's any opportunity. And guess what? She had an opportunity. It was a volunteer position, like I said, and then I was able to use this thing. So I like to tell people, when it comes to using anything new, when you learn something, PDSA, you plan to use it, you actually do it, study from it, right? What did you like, didn't like, how did it go? And then act, remove something, add something, and do it again. PDSA all day. This is what I do in anything new that I learn. And this is a method that I follow, that I hold very deeply. PDSA. All right. So when it comes to career management, the X factor is emotional intelligence. All that is, I know how I feel. I know how you feel. And what we going to do about these two feelings? Emotional intelligence, right? This is not something that everyone has down pat. Know that you can take classes, and you can self-learn how to be more emotionally intelligent. Okay? This right here, when you see, and just because I have just for the lack of words right now, whenever you see somebody at a job and you like, that person is not too bright, but they know a lot of people and people like them and all that, it's because usually their emotional intelligence is very high. They just know how to work the room. So you know when someone is feeling you or not. That's what emotional intelligence is. So this right here is an X factor. Know that you can get better at this, and that is a huge tip that I'm giving you today. All right. So for me, I am a wheezer. This is how I conduct myself. This is my standard. Anywhere I work, whoever I work with, patients that I work with, I am a wheezer. That stands for being warm hearted, helpful. I'm empathetic. I am an educator. I'm zealous. I'm an empowerer and resilient. This is just how I roll. This is a standard for myself. So when it comes to you and your career, your career management, you have to know what are your standards? How are you showing up to work? It don't matter where you work. It don't matter who your supervisors are. It don't matter if people like you or don't like you. This is who you are. You have to know that. So that's what emotional intelligence is, a path of self awareness. You have to understand yourself and find out your passion. What ignites that fire for you? Okay? All right. So, prize every time. Remember, I told you as a kid, 14 years old, my first job was the game booth promoter for the prize every time. What that was if you gave me $2, I gave you three ping pong balls, and you had three chances to get the ping pong balls into the fish bowl. And whether you got the ping pong ball into the fish bowl or not, you got a prize every time. So that means you can't lose with me. Right? So it was not a hard game to sell as a 14-year-old, because the minute I saw somebody without a teddy bear, I'm like, oh, you don't have a teddy bear in your hand. Let me put something in your hand to make your family happy. Come with me. Prize every time. I use this principle till this day. From 14, I have a lot of work experience. So I constantly create win-win situation. We all here to win. I show up to work. We want a good shift. All right. So, how do we make that happen? Win win situation. Sharing is caring. I learned something new. I'm going to share it. Right. So, aha moments. I share the aha moments. Hey, thank you. Yo, you know what? Thank you for teaching me that thing. I actually used it the other day. Right. We give them the win. Celebrate the wins together. Right. And Amazon Prime delivery of your word. This is so important. Why do people pay for Amazon Prime? I'll wait. All right. People pay for Amazon Prime because they know their packages will show up and come fast, right? So when I order something, I want it yesterday, okay? So that's why people pay for Amazon Prime. When you promise something, you give your word, you deliver. And me, I am the Amazon Prime of what I do. And that's why people constantly want me on their team. They want to partner with me. Patients like working with me, because when I say I'm going to do something, I do it and I don't play. I'm very careful with what I make. I'm very careful what I say yes to. This is why, because I always want to make sure I can deliver. All right? So, the woman that made over $1 billion in communication says, in order to communicate efficiently, you have to begin with connection. So this is how we are able to communicate, so people can understand us, and we can truly get to a point of being in the same direction, right? So, ways to connect. You align accordingly. What is the mission, right? We believe boldly. Together, we can get there. Even when I have a patient that is like, everyone is like, yo, this is the worst. Like, this patient is this, that, and the third. My standard, I believe boldly that even if I can't get them from A to Z, I could get them from 8.1 to 8.2 to 8.3. You have to understand why I have these turtles everywhere. Because at the end of the day, turtles are slow, but they get to where they need to go. They at least try. And so that's how I am. Believe boldly. We collaborate correctly. Everyone knows what the assignment is. And then we deliver delightfully, right? Like Amazon Prime. We must deliver. This is how you connect. Okay? So, when it comes to career management, you have to know what season are you in. So, just like nature, things will change, right? And sometimes we can expect the change, right? We know what weather is coming with which specific season. The career is something that you can treat very similar. And so this grid right here is what I'm calling the career seasons. Now, the titles on top, that's Linda language. All right. So that's like, I call it like Lindanomics. This is just how I speak. But the titles on the side, those are more, I guess, more appropriate wording. But this came from a career coach on LinkedIn. And we're saying the same thing. So what you have to do is know your career season. So you have several seasons, right? So you have your money making season. So all that means is this is the time where you're trying to buy the house, Johnny's going to school, you're trying to buy the new car, and you are trying to make as much money as possible. That's all it is. You're showing up to work and you are on your grind. The next season is the level up season. Okay, you are preparing for something else. That's it. You realize you want to do something new, and now you are starting to invest in yourself. So that is a season. We also have the impact season. So now this is the time when you just want to, you want to be beyond yourself. You want to do more. And so you have that season. And then you have your harmony season. That just means you are content with where you are and everything is aligned. So these are your seasons. Now, no season is better than the other. The point is, you have to identify what season you are in and why you are in that season, and own that season. Know that it is not that you will be in that place forever. But the thing is, you have to own it. And let me tell you what leads to unsatisfaction within the career is when you don't know what season you are in and you watching other people shine in the season they are in because they had identified their season and they are owning their season. So you have to understand why some people, they just shine because they get it and they're owning it. So now when someone is watching that person in that season, it leads to career satisfaction. So the point is to identify your season, know the why behind that season, and own that season, and know that you won't be there forever. All right. So for me, you can guess what season I'm in. I'll tell you right now all the roles that I'm in. Right now, I'm an adjunct professor. I have my own business. I volunteer at my church. And so you can see what season I'm in, right? Based on what I just said, I am in the impact season. So that is the season that I'm in. So that is the season that everyone on social media, everyone that meets me, wherever I do speaking engagement, that is the season that I'm in. So what that means is people know what to talk to me about. When there's an opportunity, they know where to find me and they know, oh, maybe Linda is good for this. So you understand? Do we understand how that works? The seasons? So, let me know in the chat if this is making sense because sometimes, I speak fast and I speak with my hands. So, just making sure that we are understanding the seasons. All right. So know that there's always an opportunity to grow. And this is not just about going back to school. People always think like, yeah, you gotta go back to school. It's not about going back to school. It's about self-learning, really investing the time in yourself, looking yourself in the mirror and understanding what am I missing? Where do I want to go? Where am I at now and where I want to go? What is missing? So sometimes people just be like, oh, they never want to give me the management position. Oh, I applied for this so many times. Look yourself in the mirror and say, well, what am I missing? And really work at it and get to a point where you could be like, all right, this is what I need to do. And get to work. That's it. Can't no one stop a self-learner. It's one of those, like, I'm telling you, it's amazing when you invest in yourself. And I already told you skills like emotional intelligence. People don't know that's a skill that you can really learn. So anything networking. I am an introvert. People don't even believe me when I say that. I am an introvert with extrovert moments. I had to teach myself how to network, how to do public speaking. I didn't know how to do none of that. And now I'm getting flown throughout the country. I'm nationally speaking about asthma education. You about patient education and asthma. I couldn't do public speaking to save my life, but I taught myself how to do it. All right. So I hope you guys are catching the gems. I hope you're catching them. Okay. So these are all the different roles I have had as an asthma educator. Okay. So I do bedside patient care as a registered respiratory therapist. I am an agency worker. So I still do bedside patient care, but I have my own business and I do all this other stuff too. All of these roles I get paid for. I have been paid for all of these things. You understand? Only because I shine in this avenue. I own my career. I'm passionate for it. And I told you, I'm about change. I am a catalyst for change. That's what I'm doing. It's not about just getting a paycheck for me. So I'm really about this life. And that's what people feel when they are around me. All right. So the way that I speak here to you on a webinar is the same way that I speak in person, is the same way I am when I go to work, is the same way I come with good vibes, with a mission, and let's get to work and have a good time doing it. I also all about having a good time. So yeah. Here's another one. Mindy, if you're not following Mindy, follow her. She's another one who's owning her career. She's an APRT, one of the first in the country, and she trailblazing it. You understand what I'm saying? So whenever we see each other at events, speaking engagements, AARC Congress, networking, we give each other flowers. You understand what I'm saying? You have to understand how this works in this profession. Don't let other people sidetrack or tell you I don't think that's gonna make money, or you should do. Everyone own your own career. When I took my job as a my admin job for the asthma program, my coworkers almost talked me out of taking that job. We're running the asthma program because it was attached to grants, and they were like, "Oh, Linda, when the grants run out, they're gonna fire you." And when I went to my mentor, she was like, Dr. Ellen Becker was like, Linda, you are a great respiratory therapist. At the end of the day, if anything happens to you in the new role, in the, as assistant director, you can always go back to bedside patient care. Facts. You always have a job. I'm always going to eat because I'm good at what I do and because of the standards. That's what I'm saying. So don't let people talk you out of your blessing. Okay? All right. So, let's talk about work. Work. Everybody's not going to be your friend. Even if you are a ray of sunshine, somebody will find a reason not to like you. All right. So you want allies at work. That's what it is. We have friends, we have allies. You want allies. What that is that we just want to work together to have a good shift. That's what it is. Okay. We don't have to be the best of friends, allies. All right. So I already told you about emotional intelligence. All right? You don't like someone don't like you. How do we get to a place where we can be allies? That's it. Figure it out. Emotional intelligence. How can we be allies? We do not have to be the best of friends. All right? Okay, more than one alpha on the team. You got a strong personality. I got a strong personality. The movies show us, pop culture shows us how to do this all the time. Godzilla is an alpha. King Kong is an alpha. You got King Kong and Godzilla X, whatever. They tag team together to fight the big enemy, whatever, right? They not going to each other birthday party. They not showing each other the vacation pictures. The kids, that's not what it's about. It's just about what? Allies at work. Okay? Emotional intelligence. All right. More than one leader on the team. It happens. Check the Avengers, right? We got Captain America. I was trying to use royalty free pictures. So one of these is Captain America and one of these is Iron Man. All right. So you got two leaders, two different type of leaders on the Avengers. The movies they show you, they did not always get along, right? But when it was time for the right leader to lead, they did it. Okay. Iron Man was good with the, what is it? The with tech stuff. So Captain America, I'm not good at that. I let you shine. And Iron Man knew that Captain America was the leader that everybody liked. Everybody gonna follow him. So Iron Man fall back. That's how you do it. Everyone can shine at the same time. Okay? It Iron Man don't take the shine away from Captain America and vice versa. The movies, they really do show you how to do this. Being a leader without the title. I don't know how many of you guys saw Game of Thrones, but these two characters, they were never supposed to be leaders, and they both ended up in leadership positions. Know that this does happen. It does happen when people trust you because you carry yourself a certain way. They will follow you, whether you are the leader or not. I mean, with the title. And what I have done, this has happened to me. And if you saw the first slide, and the first slide I had, I wrote unofficial lead night shift therapist. I was never hired to be the lead night shift therapist, but I have it on my resume. You know why? Because I was the lead night shift therapist, unofficial. Whenever the supervisor was in there, they would come to me to split the assignment. If the BiPAPs was short, it was me. People would come to me to get the BiPAPs. I was doing the work. So yeah, it was on my resume. Put it on the resume, and it does happen. Like I said, we see it all the time. So prize every time. You want to be of value in any position. Any position. How do you put yourself in a position of value at any time? Sharing is caring. You learn something new or a better way, you share it. That's it. Hey, listen, I learned how to wrap I learned how to wrap the oxygen tubing without kinking up. Let me show you. This is how you can do it. Be resourceful. Okay. I don't know how to do it, but I know somebody that does. Okay. Be an extra hand or be present for brainstorming. Hey, listen, I don't know, but I'm gonna come with you just to see, just to be backup and be good at closed loop communication. Communication, right? This is what I heard. I'm gonna repeat it. Are we all good? You become good at these things. Let me tell you something. When you are missing in action, people will miss you because you had made you became this person of value. People won't even know. There was a point where the people on my team, I was the fifth wheel on my team. So that means everybody, they were all friends, and I was like the extra person. They didn't need me. And at first I was a little sour. I didn't like that. And uh I was unhappy at work. And then what it was, after some advice from my mentor, I got to a place where I was like, okay, I'm going to become a person of value. And all that was, I was always there. That was what it was. I came to every single rapid response. I made myself available and I became somebody that was of value. So once I left, it was like, wow, Linda, we are going to miss you. I'm like, I know you're going to miss me. You feel me? So that's what it is. You want, and once again, keeping up with being your own uh um upping your software. Okay, so oh, repeat slide. Sorry, but once again, this mirror right here is very important. Maybe I did that intentionally, so we'll leave it. All right. So okay, know that plenty of these specialties to add behind your name. Go for it. If it's in your spirit to go for something, go for it. Don't let anyone else talk you out of it. You are on your time. It's your career. You go for your exams. You study. If you fail, try again. It's about you. It's not about if they're going to pay you more or not. Whatever. Go for it if it's in your spirit. And then you trust me, it will pay off, because if that's what you really want to do, once again, you have to show people in advance, I am invested in myself. This is where I choose to invest in myself. That's what that means. Sometimes people are scared when they see a lot of letters behind people's name and they're like, "Oh, I don't like that." Let me tell you something. I'm for it because it lets me know the person is invested. All right. And then the work speaks for itself. Okay. Because sometimes the person just got letters behind their name because they feel like the letters make them whatever. And then when you meet them, that when they open their mouth, that's what's gonna let you know, okay, that's gonna co-sign it. But I'm very for adding the letters behind your name. All right, so when we were talking about getting a mentor, this was very pivotal in my career. I had that person. If I didn't have Dr. Ellen Becker, I don't know where I would be. She really did become my soundboard, and we nurtured this relationship. I nurtured the relationship. I made sure I played my part and in growing that relationship, and know that it's an investment on both, investment of time on both ends. So there's a way to you just have to make sure you are playing your part. All right, so as a mentee, you just want to make sure you are self-motivated. Can't no one motivate you in your own career. It is you. You have to want it. All right, so you are committed to the growth. All right, so you want a growth mindset, and you are the driver in the relationship. You are in the driver's seat as the mentee. This is where some people get confused. They feel like the mentor is the driver. No, 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 no. It's you. You as the mentee, you are the driver of that relationship. And that's how that works. All right. So both of y'all have to be committed, but you are the driver. Okay, so once again, just a little bit about that. You just have to be prepared to reflect, have self-reflection on where you are today, where you want to be, what is the goal, why do you want the mentor now, and how to find potential mentors. You engage, you go to alumni groups, you go to those conferences, you volunteer in advocacy groups. You want to find your mentor, right? You want to find a good match. It's about that, the vibe. Okay, and then you prepared to contact them. All right, so this is about, when it comes to your career, it is about making decisions. Making decisions. And know that when you don't make a decision, it's also a decision. That's what people don't realize. So and I'm sorry to say this, if someone is in a job for 30, 40 years and they are miserable, it is a decision that they made. And it is their job to find happiness in that decision that they made, whether it is for the family, for the pension, for the whatever it is. They have to find happiness in that decision. Okay, so that this is what it is about: ownership. All right, so here are the key takeaways. Value your reputation. It is everything. It is your brand. All right, people will know you for this thing. What are your standards? Know what season you are in and why. Know your standards and be passionate about them. RTs are subject matter experts, period. Okay? Start by volunteering your talents. I know folks don't want to hear that. You have the time. You can make the time. I had two night shift jobs and I still had time to volunteer, family, and all. You make time for what you want. Find it, carve the time. Look for a mentor and form a tight relationship. Master emotional intelligence. It will get you very far. Start from where you are and assess the areas where you need to improve. Prepare for opportunities in advance. People always be like, oh, that person, they just lucky. Mm-mm. They prepared in advance. Challenge yourself. Be comfortable being uncomfortable. I had to train myself. As sometime in my role, I was the youngest, the brownest, and the only woman in my role that was in a meeting. And I had to be comfortable with that. I had to teach myself how to be comfortable. Invest in yourself, continue to learn, and pick a subspecialty in the RT field. All right. Key takeaways. You shine. Once you know your intentions, you don't have to do anything. You get to do it. You choose to do it. Choose now to do it with your heart. You will be a happier respiratory therapist and take control of your career. Resources, and I'm very easy to find, guys. Thank you so much.